What if the most profound signature of creation was literally woven into the very fabric of your being?
Wow, that's quite a thought to start with.
It is, isn't it? Today, we're taking a deep dive into an extraordinary claim, really, sourced from material suggesting a divine imprint right there within our own biology.
Yeah, and it's important to frame this correctly from the get-go.
Definitely. This isn't about belief systems, or at least not just about them.
Right.
It's more about exploring some truly remarkable ideas presented in our sources.
Ideas that propose science might just be confirming ancient scripture.
Exactly. In the most surprising and, well, intricate ways.
So
our mission for this deep dive, to explore what the material calls shocking revelations hidden within DNA and our physiological structures.
revelations that, according to these sources, point directly to a creator.
That's the claim.
It's a powerful invitation, absolutely. And one our sources embrace with, well, remarkable conviction.
They certainly don't hold back.
No, they make some incredibly bold assertions, directly linking biology and divinity.
In ways that might fundamentally challenge your perspective on existence itself. Right?
Absolutely. For you, the listener, our goal is simply to understand these claims thoroughly. We want to dissect their arguments and really consider their profound implications.
The material promises surprising facts, doesn't it?
It does. And a pathway to feeling truly well-informed on a premise that, let's be honest, might seem almost unbelievable at first glance to many people.
Which is?
The idea that the human body isn't merely a collection of cells operating by chance.
Okay.
But is, quote, fearfully and wonderfully made in a way that distinctly points to a grand, intelligent design.
So we'll be examining specific biological structure.
And ancient texts, yes, as presented in the source material, uncovering these deep, sometimes astonishing connections.
Okay, so let's unpack this journey then, into the microscopic world.
Let's do it, starting with the very foundation of human creation as described in the material we've explored.
All right, so let's open with that foundational concept from the sources. The idea that you, the listener, were not an accident of cosmic chance.
A pretty fundamental starting point.
It is. This material suggests, with striking clarity, that you were created with purpose, design, and identity.
Purpose, design, and identity. Strong words.
Very. And it immediately grounds this profound notion in ancient texts, providing a sort of bedrock for its subsequent claims.
Like Genesis.
Exactly. The source prominently quotes Genesis 1.27, which states, "So God created mankind in his own image. Male and female, he created them."
A very well-known verse.
Right. And the interpretation offered here is far from just a simple poetic flourish, according to the sources.
Okay, how so?
Well, they argue this verse signifies a deliberate, meticulous act of creation.
Deliberate and meticulous.
Yes, establishing an intrinsic identity for humanity that, in their view, goes far beyond mere biological existence.
So it's about inherent value, preordained intention.
That seems to be the core idea, a unique place in the universe, essentially. And if we are indeed created in his image, as the source emphatically suggests,
Then the question becomes,
how might that reflect beyond just our spiritual being? Could it manifest in our very physical selves?
and the tangible structures and processes that make us who we are.
Precisely. This premise really sets the stage for everything else we'll explore today.
It's a truly powerful and provocative idea, isn't it?
It really is.
Our sources expand significantly on this. They posit that while your soul, undeniably reflects God's nature, that spiritual connection, consciousness, capacity for relationship,
Okay.
your physical body may, quite astonishingly, carry his signature.
A signature, not just a reflection, but a signature.
Exactly. And this isn't just presented as a metaphor in the material, it's treated as the bedrock of their entire argument for this deep dive.
So the physical self isn't separate from the spiritual.
Intricately linked, potentially bearing tangible, almost undeniable marks of its origin. That's the core assertion.
A bridge between theology and biology.
That's what our source is trying to build, yes.
Yeah.
And they don't linger on abstract philosophy for long.
No.
They immediately bring this concept down to the micro level, introducing us to a specific biological example.
Which they claim is a prime piece of this divine signature.
That's right. So let's talk about laminin.
Laminin, okay.
This protein, laminin, is presented by the sources as the very first piece of jaw-dropping evidence, as they put it.
Jaw-dropping.
Guiding us into some truly fascinating and, well, challenging territory regarding the design of life itself.
Okay, let's really unpack this laminin thing because it's clearly central to the argument.
It is.
The sources describe it quite dramatically as literally the glue of the human body.
The glue. It's a simple analogy for something incredibly complex.
Right. It's not just, simple Elmer's glue here. Laminin is anything but simple.
Definitely not.
It's an incredibly complex and crucial component. Technically, laminin is a large glycoprotein.
Right. Functioning as a vital component of the extracellular matrix.
Explain that a bit, the extracellular matrix.
Think of it as the sophisticated, intricate scaffolding that surrounds and supports our cells.
Okay, scaffolding.
But it's not just passive filler. It's an active dynamic network. Proteins, carbohydrates. It provides structural integrity, biochemical support.
And it even influences how cells behave.
Exactly. That's a crucial distinction.
Yeah.
Laminin's role isn't just generic adhesion. It's a precise, multifunctional molecule.
So it's binding cells, tissues, organs.
Mediating cell-to-cell adhesion, facilitating cell attachment to the basement membrane.
Which is like a specialized layer.
A very important layer, yeah.
Yeah.
It underlies epithelial tissue, surrounds muscle cells, fat cells, nerve fibers. It's everywhere.
Its presence is ubiquitous, you said, indispensable.
Absolutely. Without laminin, our body's structure would quite literally disintegrate. I mean, literally fall apart.
Wow.
It's involved in everything from tissue development during embryonic stages to wound healing in adulthood,
Keeping our liver in place, muscles connected.
skin maintaining its barrier. All of that relies heavily on laminin.
So the material emphasizes this absolutely critical, foundational nature of the protein.
It's omnipresent, utterly indispensable to our physical existence, the very architecture maintaining our form and function.
Okay, and here's where the jaw-dropping part comes in, as the sources describe it.
Right, the visual aspect.
When laminin is viewed under a powerful microscope, its shape is remarkably distinct. And it's this visual aspect that the sources highlight as profoundly significant. The material explicitly states, with no room for ambiguity. Under a microscope, laminin is shaped like a cross.
And they emphasize, yes, a literal cross.
A literal cross, not just sort of cross-like.
No, the sources present this not as some abstract artistic interpretation or a vague similarity, but as a profound, undeniable visual correlation that, they argue, begs deeper inquiry.
So the claim is a precise, discernible cross shape.
That's the claim, not merely a coincidental arrangement of molecular bond.
And then they draw the connection.
A direct, unequivocal connection to spiritual symbolism, stating that, in their view, the very structure that holds your body together is in the shape of the symbol that saved your soul.
That is quite a statement.
It is. And to underscore this remarkable assertion, the material cites a powerful verse from Colossians 1:16,
Which reads,
"He is before all things, and in him all things hold together."
"In him all things hold together."
The implication, as presented by the source, is that this scripture isn't just a theological statement about divine providence, but a literal description of the biological reality of laminin's function and form.
Wow. Okay.
The source then challenges you, the listener, directly, posing that critical question,
Right.
inviting you to deeply consider the implications of such a striking parallel. Coincidence or divine fingerprint?
Coincidence or divine fingerprint, that's the crux of it.
This is where the material truly asks you to confront the extraordinary nature of its claims.
It's an incredible claim, almost audacious, really.
It is.
As I was going through these sources, this part about laminin truly made me pause. I mean, really stop and think. To think that something so fundamental, so microscopically vital to our very structure, could bear such a distinct symbolic mark. If these claims from our sources are indeed accurate, it suggests, well, an intentional design at the most fundamental biological level.
Aligning a key physiological component with a core spiritual symbol.
Right. It forces us to ask if the very scaffolding of life carries a message beyond its biological role.
Does this imply a level of intelligent design so meticulous it transcends our current scientific paradigms?
It's moving from just how it works to what it means at a foundational level.
Exactly.
Imagine every single cell, every tissue, every organ in your body intrinsically linked and held in place by a protein that bears such a distinct mark. What does that imply about the architecture of life itself?
That's a profound thought.
It challenges you to consider whether the physical world might contain these kinds of profound messages, suggesting intelligent design, not just random processes.
And the sources don't stop there.
No! Just when you think that's incredible enough, our sources dive even deeper.
right into the genetic code itself.
Suggesting an even more astonishing pattern exists right there.
That's right. From the structure of a protein, the sources take us to the very blueprint of life, our DNA.
Okay.
And they introduce us to the most sacred and profound Hebrew name of God, YHWH.
Often pronounced Yahweh, the Tetragrammaton.
Correct. The material describes this name as the unpronounceable name, the breath of God, emphasizing its immense spiritual weight in many traditions.
Too sacred to utter, representing God's eternal, self-existent nature.
And his role as the giver of life. That's key.
So it signifies not just existence, but being itself, deeply tied to life and breath in ancient texts.
Precisely. The source highlights this profound significance of YHWH before moving into its truly astonishing claim about its connection to our biology.
It's presented as more than just historical or theological curiosity.
Much more, like a living echo, potentially.
Okay, so what is the claim? How does YHWH supposedly connect to our DNA?
This is where it gets particularly specific and, frankly, quite mind-bending. The sources state that Hebrew scholars and some biochemists have noted an astonishing pattern. The chemical makeup of the elements that form your DNA can be mapped in a way that reflects the sequence of YHWH.
Whoa, okay. The chemical makeup reflects the sequence YHWH. That needs unpacking.
It definitely does.
Wow.
And let's clarify what the source isn't claiming.
That's a good idea.
It's not suggesting your cells literally chant scripture, or that there are visible Hebrew letters inscribed within your DNA sequence that you can see under a microscope.
Right, that would be something else entirely.
It would. No, the source is explicit. This isn't claiming your cells chant scripture.
Okay, so if it's not literal letters, what is the source suggesting about this astonishing pattern? How does this reflection supposedly work?
What is claimed, according to the sources, is that the pattern of your genetic code reflects the name of the one who authored life.
Okay, a pattern reflecting the name.
It points to a deeper underlying structural or elemental resonance rather than a literal inscription.
Elemental resonance.
Yes. While the specifics can be intricate and are interpreted in various ways within the literature the sources draw upon, the core idea often refers to the sequence or ratio of certain elements within the DNA's 4 nucleotide bases: adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, AGCT.
The letters of our genetic code?
Exactly. Some interpretations, as alluded to in the material, suggest that a specific numerical or elemental arrangement within the DNA backbone itself.
The backbone, like the sugar phosphate part?
Potentially, yes. Or maybe relating to the atomic weights or precise bonding configurations of key elements like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon. The very building blocks of life can be allegorically mapped or numerically linked to the values or elemental associations of the Hebrew letters Yod, He, Vav, and He, YHWH.
The letters forming YHWH.
Correct. So it's not about reading letters, but a claimed chemical or structural resonance with the divine name, a kind of embedded mathematical or elemental signature.
Wow, so it's a highly conceptual, almost mathematical interpretation of the elements or sequence in DNA.
That's how it seems to be presented.
Given the immense complexity of DNA and decades of scientific research, how do these sources explain why this astonishing pattern isn't, a widely recognized scientific fact?
That's a critical question. And the material doesn't present this as mainstream molecular biology consensus.
Okay.
Instead, it positions it as an insight gleaned from specific interpretations, often from those they describe as Hebrew scholars and some biochemists who are specifically looking for such connections.
So it's a bridge between fields that don't typically overlap, like ancient linguistics and biochemistry.
Exactly. The sources imply this is a revelation that requires looking at the data through a particular lens, one informed by spiritual understanding.
Not something that would just pop out from purely secular scientific study.
That seems to be the implication. And to support this profound idea, the material quotes Psalm 139, verses 13 and 14.
Ah, beautiful passage.
You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
Fearfully and wonderfully made.
The synthesis of the idea presented by the sources is that this goes beyond simply being made by God.
It implies being.
Marked by Him at the most granular, fundamental level of our being. A signature woven into our very essence.
Almost as if our life's instruction set itself bears the mark of its author.
That's the picture they paint.
This alleged pattern is truly profound to consider. The blueprint of life, DNA, carrying a reflection, an echo of the Creator's name.
It definitely pushes you to think differently.
It pushes us to consider what this might mean for understanding life's origins, moving from randomness towards meticulous design.
Right.
If the chemical elements in our DNA can align in such a specific meaning-val sequence as these sources suggest, what does that say about the meticulousness, the precision, the intentionality of design?
It suggests a level of detail that's hard to grasp.
It's not just creating life, it's embedding a signature within it, a kind of divine watermark. And when the source connects YHWH to the breath of God, the origin of life, it makes you wonder, could the very sequence of our genetic code, that life-giving instruction set, be seen as an echo of that life-giving breath mentioned in Scripture?
A fascinating connection to draw.
These insights really move us beyond simple biological code to something much more profound.
Like what?
Like the idea of a covenant, a divine promise or connection written into our very being rather than just an informational library.
Exactly. The source material pivots beautifully at this point.
How so?
From the intricate mechanics and symbolic shapes of laminin and these alleged DNA patterns to the deeper, almost spiritual meaning behind these supposed discoveries. It argues that your DNA doesn't just determine your height or hair color.
Which is what we usually think of, right?
Right.
The scientifically accepted function.
Correct. Crucial for biological traits, obviously, but the sources contend this is only part of the story.
Okay.
Instead, they state it holds evidence of God's intentional design.
Elevating DNA beyond just biological instruction.
Precisely. A significant shift in perspective, moving from what DNA does to what it means in a grander scheme.
And the material consistently highlights that human existence, in this view, is not random.
Not accidental. It asserts a profound sense of purpose that begins at our very inception, woven into our fundamental identity.
And this connects to another scripture, doesn't it? Jeremiah.
It does. This is where the sources introduce that incredibly powerful idea from Jeremiah 1.5.
Which states,
Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you.
wow. Before I formed you, I knew you. Think about the weight of that.
It suggests a pre-existence of knowledge, an intimate personal relationship between creator and created before any biological process even began.
So it's not just about being brought into existence.
No, it's about being known, recognized, maybe even designated for a unique purpose.
And the sources make a crucial distinction here, a reframing of our origin.
Yes, they say, you aren't just conceived, you were called.
Conceived versus called. That elevates creation to a divine summons.
A personal invitation into being, imbued with preordained significance. That's the idea.
And the material draws a direct line.
Stating that from the cellular level to the spiritual level, you belong to Him.
Belonging to Him, that speaks to an all-encompassing ownership and connection.
Implying our very essence is tethered to this divine origin.
So this concept of belonging to a creator at such a fundamental cellular level, it's vast.
It's transformative, if you accept the premise. It implies our identity isn't self-derived, not just environment or choice.
But fundamentally divinely given, linked to a higher purpose.
Exactly. When the source speaks of God not just breathing life into Adam, but imprinting identity into a body.
It's suggesting something richer than just animation.
Far richer, an inherent woven-in sense of who we are, a purpose that predates our conscious awareness, a kind of internal covenant.
Let's explore that word, covenant. What does that imply here?
Well, when the sources speak of carrying a covenant within our being, it's more than a simple agreement. In many spiritual traditions, a covenant is a sacred, binding relationship, often initiated by a divine entity. It establishes identity, purpose, belonging.
Unlike a contract, it's often marked by symbols or permanent signs.
Precisely. And the idea here is that these biological signatures, the cross-shaped laminin, the alleged YHWH pattern in DNA, aren't just marks of creation.
Yet serve as embedded reminders.
Constant reminders, yes, of this foundational life-giving relationship and the inherent purpose woven into us by a creator.
So for you, the listener, considering that feeling of being known and called before you even existed,
What comfort might that present? The idea you're not adrift, your existence rooted in a deliberate act of divine knowing.
But it could also present a challenge, couldn't it?
Absolutely. A call to live up to that inherent purpose, to recognize that profound belonging, and to reconsider what it truly means to be human.
Which leads us right to the conclusion about personal value and uniqueness.
Exactly. The profound implications the sources aim to impart.
And it really is a powerful conclusion. The sources pull all these extraordinary threads together.
Into a vivid tapestry, of profound personal significance for each one of us.
They recap the divine marks we've just explored in this deep dive.
Starting with laminin.
Right, that incredible claim. Every cell in your body is being held together by a cross, directly referring back to the laminin protein and its remarkable shape.
Then they move to the genetic level,
Asserting that every breath you take echoes the name of Yahweh.
highlighting that astonishing chemical pattern allegedly found in our DNA, connecting our vital breath to the divine name.
And finally, summing it all up by stating with emphatic certainty,
The blueprint of your body carries the signature of your creator.
it's a powerful, almost overwhelming triple affirmation of intentionality.
It really is. And the consistency of the source's claims is striking. These aren't presented as isolated points.
No, they form a cohesive argument, don't they?
A cohesive, compelling argument for divine authorship, suggesting evidence of a creator is embedded at every single level of our being.
From the molecular to the spiritual.
That's the claim. And this is where the deep dive, according to the sources, truly connects to your personal sense of worth and identity,
Right. The material addresses you, the listener, directly.
with a profound and deeply affirming message. It states, so next time you feel worthless, next time you doubt your value, remember this.
And then it hits you with these powerful affirmations.
Almost like a divine declaration over your life, designed to counter feelings of insignificance.
It states with absolute conviction, presented as logical conclusions from the evidence discussed.
You are not random.
You are not forgotten.
You are not a mistake.
These aren't just, feel-good platitudes in this context.
No, they're offered as fundamental truths about your existence, supposedly rooted in the very fabric of your being.
And the ultimate conclusion offered by the source material, it's deeply impactful.
It is. You are a walking miracle, signed by God.
Signed by God. That's the pinnacle insight the source wants to impart.
To fundamentally reshape your understanding of your own inherent value and purpose.
And what a powerful, almost breathtaking way to frame our existence.
It really shifts the perspective.
It's a complete reevaluation of what it means to be human, suggesting our biology testifies to something far grander than just accidental formation. It means, according to these sources, that from the cross-shaped laminin holding your cells together to the alleged YHWH pattern in your DNA.
There's an intentionality, a design, a signature.
That speaks of a creator who knew you and made you with profound purpose.
It fundamentally challenges the notion of a random existence.
And instead offers a narrative of being deeply known and valued from conception, maybe even before.
Implying every breath, every cell, every heartbeat is an echo of this divine signature.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener, in a practical sense?
Well, the ultimate takeaway from this deep dive into these sources, it reveals a narrative where our biology is presented not just as complex,
But as undeniable evidence, they claim, of divine design and personal significance.
it suggests the breathtaking complexity and specificity of our physical makeup aren't just marvels of evolution.
But profound indicators of an intelligent, intentional author. A master architect.
That's the view presented. And the call to acknowledge this internal fingerprint is clear in the material.
The idea that even your biology knows his name.
Right. This isn't just pitched as a scientific claim, nor purely a theological one.
It's presented as a deeply personal invitation.
To see yourself and perhaps the world around you through a new and extraordinary lens.
What stands out to you most hearing about these intricate claimed connections between your physical self and this divine signature?
It certainly gives one significant pause, doesn't it? To consider the implications for daily life, for self-perception.
And for our understanding of where we truly come from.
Absolutely. Hashtag tagged outro.
We've journeyed through some truly extraordinary claims today.
We certainly have.
From the microscopic cross-shaped laminin holding our bodies together at a fundamental level.
Right up to the alleged YHWH pattern, woven into the very fabric of our DNA, signaling an intentional divine blueprint.
Our deep dive into these sources has really illuminated a core, consistent message.
Which is?
That according to this material, you are uniquely and intentionally made carrying a profound signature of your creator at the most fundamental levels of your being.
And this leaves us with a provocative thought to perhaps ponder on, building on all the material we've just explored.
Okay, what's that?
If the very structures of our biology, from the proteins holding us together to the intricate code of our DNA, carry such profound and symbolic meaning.
Meaning these sources suggest is hidden in plain sight.
Right. Then what other layers of design, purpose, or connection might be waiting for us to uncover in the world around us?
And perhaps even within ourselves.
Exactly. This deep dive offers a powerful perspective on human existence as presented in these sources.
Truly inviting you to reflect on what it means, in this context, to be fearfully and wonderfully made.